always talk about right choices, not to change the diet rapidly. Ayurveda says that the diet needs to be changed only based on the season, not according to what your emotions are saying, not according to your cravings. Never do that, because that is the disease manufacturing that's happening. The disease will ask for these because it is trying to create an imbalance. So always educate and have mindfulness of not to get tempted because of taste and texture. Rather go with seasonal diet and body type diet. That's very important from Ayurvedic point of view. Next slide, please. So let's look at what Ayurveda considers this digestive and metabolism as. It elevates the thought process or mindful attitude towards food as a sacrifice, right? We call in Vedic terms, it's called as YAJNA. YAJNA means it's a process where a certain chosen substances are offered. The word offered is very important. So it's offering, right? Not just throwing or burning, it's offering. So this word YAJNA means a sacrificial offering. So Ayurveda says that the attitude that one should have towards this, consuming food should be like a sacred offering. And the later part, we were, in the classical, Indian or Vedic literature, we say that even the internal metabolic, ability of a human being is compared to the consciousness itself, the spiritual ultimate, consciousness exists in the form of this metabolic fire. So there is a sentence, it goes, Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva. So those of you who have heard of Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavad Gita, the sentence that has been said is, the sacrificial fire that you have in your belly is the form of the consciousness itself. So that is the attitude that all of us should have, to have a good gut. Because if you relate your gut as if it is a sacred place, then you will never put junk into it. Next slide, please. And it says that this yajna, the external sacrifice that's doing, like for example, yajna is seen as a sun as well. Sun is continuously burning and combusting himself to emit light. So that's seen as a yajna as well. So where there is purpose for this combustion or purpose for this metabolism or breaking down is what we relate to yajna in a larger sense. The yajna in an internal or personalized sense is the yajna that we do by eating. So what are we doing in this yajna is that we take the elements. We have in Ayurveda 5 elements. That is, everybody knows about this. There is space from where everything manifests, then becomes subtle as air, then the fire, then the water, then the most grossest being the earth, right? So these 5 are considered to be existing outside, and then we are continuously conveying that through the food into our bodies to maintain our body. So these 5 elements is what we recycle all lifelong, from birth to death. That's what we are doing. And what is making it possible is this internal yajna, internal sacrifice that we are doing. Who is responsible for that? The sacred fire. Next slide, please. So then the Agni that we were talking, right? The same word Agni is coming from the Sanskrit. And from Sanskrit, it gradually went into like Roman and even to modern medical system and physics. Ignite, ignious comes from the same the root word Agni. Agni is the eternal fire. The eternal fire that is responsible for all transformations, fruit ripening in the tree, things like that. Anything that is transforming is done by this, the form of creation called as Agni. So this Agni, very interestingly, it says in Vedas, they say that Chatvari Shringaha. That means 4 horns, the representation, right? And then Trayo Asya Padaha, 3 legs. Then Sapta Hastaso Asya, 7 hands. Dvau Shirshe, 2 heads. Rushabho Roraditi, it just continues as a hymn. But what is interesting is that 4 horns are the 4 seasons. From Ayurvedic point of view, you can draw meanings according to the context. 7 hands are the 7 tissues that we have. 3 legs, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So if we know how to maintain the Agni in our bodies, then the Agni can nurture us like the sacred fire that is out there. If not, then it will destroy us, taking a abnormal form. So what we do is that we fall for our emotions. Ayurveda is very, very aware of that, because emotions are the ones which are driven by the mind and state of mind, and they make body a culprit of choosing these and then destroying itself. So we need to be very mindful of that. Now, continuing, we are looking at what this internal Agni relates to in our bodies that is so important for our not only gut health but also general health. So we have 13 varieties of Agni in Ayurveda. That means the entire body metabolism is grouped under one heading called Agni, which is transforming everything. For convenience and also for therapeutic purposes, we have divided it into 13 subcategories. The major one, which is responsible for gut health, is called Jatara Agni. Jatara means that which is located in the GI, the gut. So that transformative Agni, which can be, you can say, it's a very broad term. Hydrochloric acid, yes, it's Agni. How about gut biome? It's Agni. How about the enzymes? It's Agni. How about the peristalsis? It's Agni. All that is grouped under one heading. Whatever makes our body's metabolism possible is called as Agni. So that's in the gut. That is the major one. And then we have 7 in the tissues. There are 7 tissues in Ayurveda. One is the lymph, the blood, the muscle, the fat, the bone marrow, reproductive tissues. And these 7 of them together have their own transformative fires in them. Those are also important. If you break down something in the gut, if it doesn't break down in the tissues, that also is not a proper metabolism according to Ayurveda. Then the last 5 are located in the tissues, not on the tissues, the elements. So we talked about these 5 elements. Like beginning, I said what we are doing is essentially recycling the material from the nature, and they are in 5 elemental forms. These are 5 elements. That is the fire, the water, the earth, the space, and the air. These have their own elemental, transformations, and these are 13 of them. For Ayurveda, all these are important. Today, for the gut purposes, we are only going to talk about the GI-based major, Agni.